corruption creates conditions where people not only are dealing with the direct financial costs and burdens of paying bribes that eat into things like potential business investments and profits, but they also then face social conditions that erode trust. And so that then means that people are less likely to invest. They have less faith in the courts. They have less faith in the broader environment in which they do business, and that can affect their decisions, right? And so, so corruption is in some ways, and in some countries, almost like the ultimate filter for entrepreneurship. And so, there's two areas of work that I want to share with you, and this first one is really about corruption and the stage of entrepreneurship. And the stage of entrepreneurship is, in this case, two stages: latent and emergent entrepreneurship. And so, latent entrepreneurship, which you saw on my chart, is defined here as the share of the population 18 to 64 years old that intends to start a new venture or a new business within the next 3 years, but has not yet taken action to do so, right? So these latent entrepreneurs are part of the pool of potential future entrepreneurs, and they may ultimately start a business, they may not. And then emergent entrepreneurship is a similar population-based measure. So it's the share of people 18 to 64 years old that have been an owner manager of a business for at least 42 months, right? So these are businesses that are already up and running. And so the effect of corruption, and we looked at this in 66 countries over 10 years. We looked at a number of things when we did this study. We looked at perceptions about corruption. We looked at the entrepreneurship rate. We also looked at the type of regulatory conditions that are in a country. We looked at overall wealth and economic development. We looked at a number of factors that might vary across countries. And so what we find is that corruption hurts potential, so latent, as well as existing entrepreneurs. That's not surprising. And it's intuitive, and there's quite a bit of other empirical evidence on this question. But we actually found that the effects are worse and more persistent for potential entrepreneurs, and that they last up to 3 times as long. So an increase in corruption in 1 year can actually discourage latent entrepreneurs for up to 3 years after that. And it's about a year for emergent entrepreneurs, right? And so that tells us that corruption is really particularly toxic for people who might be interested in starting businesses.